What's going on, everyone? So Giannis the other day suffered a strained calf injury. Looked worse. There was a lot of concerns that maybe he tore or ripped something, but luckily for him, there was no structural damage, no tearing. But he is expected to miss the rest of the regular season. I mean, there's only they have 3 games left time of recording this video, so they're will be okay. They'll be in good shape. Luckily, they handled business throughout the course of the season to where they don't have to worry about falling out of the play-in or, dropping significantly in the standings. They could end up dropping down to the 3 seed, 4 seed, probably not. But look, Milwaukee's in good shape regardless as far as standing-wise goes. As far as the remainder of the season goes, look, I didn't have a ton of faith in the Milwaukee Bucks to begin with. I just think that they've really had their struggles. They haven't looked great at times. Dame doesn't look like the same Damian Lillard. He has his moments, he has his games, but for the most part, he hasn't looked like the guy that was expected when he came to the Milwaukee Bucks. Him and Giannis at times just kind of seemed that they don't have it figured out. A lot of the Milwaukee Bucks' success has been just Giannis's unbelievable, incredible play. I mean, he's put up a historical season, literally. So a lot of that has just been him, being one of, if not the best player in the world, and just leading and carrying his team. Again, Dame has had his moments where he's carried the slack, and they've actually been pretty good without Giannis, where Dame's kind of the primary guy, which kind of leads me to believe it's more so the pairing hasn't really worked. The pairing doesn't really have the success. But to me, my concern is that Giannis is going to end up rushing back. He's going to end up hurting himself even further, or, knock on wood. And that just, it doesn't help anybody, right? Where you're almost better off getting through this. Obviously, look, if he's good to go, and he's genuinely good to go, then bring him back, right? But in the meantime, you have Damian Lillard, right? This is why you got that other star to come in, be a star. Whoever you end up playing, right? Because you got to get through the play-in and everything, so you're going to have some time, right? So the issue is you kind of saw the same thing last year, right? Where Giannis, you get into the playoffs, Giannis ends up getting hurt. He ends up missing some games in the playoffs, and then they end up losing first round of Miami Heat. And so they end up going and making the move for Damian Lillard, and there's all the frustration, and Giannis kind of a one out because, he's carrying. But it's kind of been the same result this year. It's Giannis is having to carry and overexert himself and, again, be historically great. And it's leading to now he keeps getting these injuries at the tail end of the season. I don't necessarily think that these are coincidences. I don't necessarily think that it's just, bad timing. I just think he's getting worn down over the course of a season because he's having to be, again, historically great game in and game out. And the whole point was that Damian Lillard would come in and he could it would help him offset a little bit. It would allow him to not have to be, Superman in order for them to win games. But it still has came down to that a lot. And Milwaukee's has suffered some bad losses. They have been good against the better teams in the conference, and they do match up well. Boston, they've shown that they can match up well against Boston, but it's just, I don't know how much faith I put in the Milwaukee Bucks to get it done. Now, to me, it's Giannis is a competitor. He wants to be on the court. If he can find any way, if he has one leg, right? If he's got to wear a cast, he doesn't care, right? Just get me on the basketball court. But it's about what's best for him and the future of the organization. Well, I mean, assuming he doesn't ask out at the end of the season, which that wouldn't surprise me at all. But that's the thing. It's Giannis, he's already expressed his frustrations. He's already gone through the whole, I want out. And then they go and they make the push for Dame. But the thing is I believe that they gave up the wrong pieces. And I even said it at the time, right? I don't think that they should have gave Chris Middleton a max. I don't think that they should have traded Drew Holiday. I think you should have worked it out to have traded Chris Middleton and then kept Drew Holiday And then you would have had that defensive point of attack guy that can defend out on the perimeter alongside Damian Lillard. It would have matched up beautifully. It would have been perfect, that perfect pairing. On top of that, I think Brook Lopez and the defense and everything would have been much better, because instead of Brook Lopez being on an island regularly, having to defend, like you saw with Drew, he's able to funnel and kind of cast guys into the right into the big fella, and he's able to clean it up. Right? And then you have Giannis as the help defender. It's a great pairing. So to me, I would have rather have had something like Dame, Drew, if you Crowder, Giannis, and Lopez. I just think that would have been a much better balanced team and roster. I think you still could get the same type of offensive production. I mean, Drew Holiday has shown he can be big and go score with the best of them at times. So I just think the Bucks, one, I think they jumped the gun on the star, and I get it. They're kind of in a position of desperation, right? Because you don't want to lose your franchise guy. And then on top of that, I think that they traded the wrong pieces in order to make it happen. And so now they're left with this position where it's like, it's clear Dame and Giannis they aren't working. And now Giannis is hurt again. And then now what? He's going to rush back to try to salvage the season and maybe win a championship or go on a championship level run. I don't think that that's the best course of action right now. Again, if he's good to go, right? If he gets the green light, he's checked out, and there's no real, there's no concern of, hey, if you step on the court, you could end up tearing it, or now you missed it. Because last thing Giannis wants to do is end up missing all or most of next season. It's the last thing you want to do, right? So, I don't know. It's a tough spot to be in, but just Giannis and Dame, they just haven't worked. And, maybe it's kind of just like the first year thing. You see it a lot of times, right? Like, you add two number one guys or, multiple number one guys, and it usually takes them the first year to kind of figure it out. Very rarely do you see them immediately go and contend and win a championship. Right? I'm not saying it hasn't happened. It's obviously happened, but it usually takes, a year or two for guys to kind of figure it out and get it together. But the big issue is Damian Lillard. Right? He's not getting younger. He's already 33. Next year he'll be 34. He's an undersized point guard that is aging and has had some significant injuries the last, handful of years. I mean, how much better is he going to be? How much better is he going to get? How much more can you count on him? Right? I mean, he's as far as playing games this year, he's done a really good job with that. He's played 72 games thus far, which is the most he's played since 2018, 2019, in which he played 80 games. So, I mean, he's done a good job of staying on the basketball court, which they need. But again, he's 34, undersized, defensive liability. He hasn't been the offensive guy that we're accustomed to seeing from him. The efficiency and whatnot. I mean, he's had some very inefficient years, but he's also had some very efficient years. And that was the idea. It's like, oh man, him playing alongside Giannis, he's going to be able to be super efficient because teams are going to be so worried about Giannis. And it sounded on paper like a match made in heaven. But I also think if Dame went to Miami, I think he would be better. Because I just think the pieces like Butler and Bam, they're more willing to just do the dirty work, and they don't really care, right? Jimmy will score 5 points if they win the game. He doesn't care. Right? He just wants to win. He's willing to lock down, be that Swiss Army knife type player, lock down defensively, dive for loose ball, sacrifice his body. Same thing with Bam. I just think Dame would be able to kind of be Dame a little more than he gets to in Milwaukee, and I don't think that there would be this power struggle at times. And look, to both of their credits, they're trying to make it work. It's just, sometimes it doesn't work. I mean, it's just a perfect example. Like, you can't just put two guys together and expect them to be perfect, right? But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But anyways, always, this is a discussion. Pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? Do you think, you got to rest, Giannis as long as possible. You can't run the risk of him getting hurt or anything significant, right? So take as long as you need. Do you think no? He's got to get back ASAP because again, you're competing for the seeding, one still, and two, you're trying to win a championship, right? You're trying to go and get in. But again, I already feel whatever your thoughts are. I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.